What's going on, everyone? Griiix here, and I really want to make a video regarding this topic. So if you guys want to just explore the new Gunbound tee with me, then let's go ahead and have a conversation about it. So if you guys are ready, let's go. What's going on, everyone? It's Griiix here. Now, in the most recent time on the community Gunbound Discord channel, this popped up. So obviously, I signed up for just notification as to when it comes out, but it is coming out December 20th, 2022, and yes, it is Gunbound T. Now, I don't know what that T stands for. It could stand for tournament, trial, I don't know, or trash, I don't know. But I'm just a little confused as to the decision making here, but I do have a few theories or speculations that I just kind of want to talk about, and maybe you guys might think I'm crazy, or you might agree with me, but it's a conversation to be had. So if you guys are already here, it's probably because you might feel the same way about it, or maybe not, I don't know, we'll see. But starting off, I'm just looking at the release date, and it is December 20th, so obviously they are trying to target, Christmas and all that stuff. So what I'm thinking, speculation, is that they're going to have like this special Christmas deal that will only come by at around Christmas. So obviously if you miss out, then yeah, you're kind of shit out of luck. And as you know, whenever it's a new game, first to kind of jump on the bandwagon always gets priority or basically an advantage. So I can see why the launch date is around that time, but I still don't know why they're making a new Gunbound instead of kind of addressing their old GBM and just making it better. But again, I do have a few theories here. But let's go over and just quickly take a look at what Gunbound T is all about. Alright, so Gunbound T, aim carefully and think strategically, then victory will be yours. Okay. Classic Gunbound is back. Gunbound T. Gunbound T is a mobile casual shooting game with turn battles. It also features your favorite mobiles from from the original, numerous items, maps, and modes that will keep you entertained for a long time. Select the mobile that you like, use the distinctive and unique items, and achieve victory. Gunbound T is stories are written by adventurous like you. Okay, I don't think that makes sense, but cool. So moving on, what is a mobile? Mobile refers to a single person boarding a weapon using in one. Okay. Each mobile is classified as their Hubos machine. Okay, I think that may be Korean. Biology meaning animal type, I guess. And then shield, which is magic. Each mobile has its own unique characteristics depending on the mobile. It is equipped with unique S1, S2, and SS missiles. So shot 1, shot 2, and super shot, I guess. Sounds very similar, right, guys? It sounds a lot like GunboundM, but I'll get into that. Let's see here. Distinctive maps. Gunbound T has different areas to explore, each with different landscapes, terrain, and environments. Fight and achieve victory in all of them. Okay. This variety of zones and environment will make players live in different situation or live in different situation for every battle. Now again, sounds very similar to GunboundM, but what I'm guessing is Gunbound T is the classic version that you kind of all remember from from PC back like 15 years ago, or at least I do. I know I am fucking dinosaur age, but just hold on, guys. If you guys don't know what the classic GB is, then maybe GBM is your your kind of starting point. But a lot of people who play GBM might still play GB Classic, and I guess they're just trying to bring this onto mobile, which I have a few problems with, but I'll get into that. All right, let's see. Official communities, blah 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 blah. Okay. Let's take a look at the photos here and see what they offer. All right. So I think this picture right here is very close to the GB Classic, like the GB World Championship. So I have my expectations that it will be very close to GB Classic, but maybe with a better, with better graphics. Because obviously, the engines that they've been using like fucking 15 years ago compared to now, it's completely different. But we'll see. So here it is. I think the bot or the mobile car tank, whatever you want to call it, right in the middle, that to me looks like a boomer, just a really pimped out boomer. Now what I'm guessing, to be honest, guys, is that Gunbound T is your classic. So if you guys are playing GunboundM, what the classic means is all the tanks from pack 1 plus Trico plus Frog plus Aduka, so total of 15 tanks, they will be in the classic. Now I don't remember Phoenix, I don't remember Chalcedon, I don't remember all that because I probably stopped playing at that time. So all the mobiles after, half of pack 2, pack 3, and 4, they may not be there, but I say this now, and they might release it later on throughout their patches, and obviously try to entice you to buy more shit, which is fine. I am completely fine with game developers wanting to make a living out of it, because of course without that we don't have games to play. But what I am very worried about is that this game might end up being very predatorial, and I'll explain it a little bit more in details as to why I think so, but let's quickly take a look. So the wind meter is way easier to read. I think it's a lot more clear. Like basically from the graphics that I can see here, it looks kind of like Maple Story. So if you go up Softnyx, they have a game called Kingdom Story, which is, I think it's really similar to Maple Story, and I think the graphic is very, very similar to it. Now, which one is better is kind of subjective. I personally like GunboundM's graphics, but I can see here, it looks a little bit more, there's a little bit more depth to it here, and so it really depends. I don't know, it's not the actual game, it's just like a still image of it, so it's very hard for me to kind of figure out what is and what is not, but it does look like the terrain is more classic, where it just looks more classic to me. Like, I don't know how to explain it. The GunboundM terrain and the Gunbound World Championship terrain is completely different, even though the idea is the same, but like it is different, and I can see it here. But ultimately what I'm guessing is, because of GB Classic, if you guys don't remember and if you guys don't know, back then there's really not like GunboundM where you can like get different grades of tank, right? There's no C grade, B, A, or S. It is what it is. So you get the specific tank, it has its own HP value, it has its own damage value, and its own obviously uniqueness, but in terms of how the missile works. But that's about it. Just the defense, or HP, and damage. That's all it is. But what ends up happening is instead of like leveling it up like GunboundM, you actually you have your own avatar, which is either a boy or a girl, and you just buy equipment to equip on your avatar, and that equipment gives extra stats to your tank. Now, if I am not mistaken, they might end up doing that exact same strategy here, which can end up very predatorial, I guess. Now, if you guys look at GBM on its own, right, and what I mean by that is if you go into the shop, alright, so if you go into the shop here, obviously, you know, they have different grades, A, B, C, E, and then S, and then you just level it up, and, you know, from level 0 to level, the max level 50, you know, the difference is about, you know, under 10%. Maybe about 10%, which is still workable in most situations. Of course, you know, like, if you go with a level 1 tank and then a maxed out level 50 tank, yeah, you're gonna be at a disadvantage. However, with the new one, I don't think that's what they're going to do, but what I am very concerned about is the avatar issues. Now, of course, here you can see, you know, you can just straight up like roll for the avatars, and each avatar gives you a set amount of jewels or the skills, right? You can't change that, and even if you can, the jewels that you get, which most of them you can get for free, will give you the stats that you're looking for. Now, it's more fair, or it's more even grounds to a player who does not spend versus a player who spends a lot. A player who spends a lot in GBM, you know, at the end of the day, they might be spending, let's say, well, it's 100 USD for a gold tank, and then another 1,000 gears. That's like 300 gems. Okay, let's do some calculation here, guys. All right, let's look at gems. So you need about 1,000 gems for an S-grade tank, and then you need about 300 gems to get that tank to level 50 without even putting it on the battleground. So that's about $100, alright? So basically you can have a maxed out tank for $100. Now, some may say that is predatorial, but for me, to be honest, guys, I've been playing mobile games like before the iPhone 6 came out, so it's been 10 years. And let me tell you guys, like, if you are spending $100 on a mobile game and you can get a maxed out whatever, that's actually pretty good, and that's coming from a guy who plays a lot of mobile games. Now, of course, you know, you gotta add in the avatars and all that, but you gotta also mind that this game gives you a lot of free resources monthly. So you don't necessarily need to you don't necessarily need to throw your wallet at this game. You don't need to dual wield Visa cards like, I don't know, like Diablo Immortal or like Tower of Fantasy, which it's complete bullshit. So what I'm trying to say is GunboundM is actually very mild in terms of in-app purchases. And what I am worried about is the Gunbound T. What I'm worried about is Gunbound T, to be honest, because let's say if I remember correctly, the old avatars, right? Because clearly you can see that these tanks have skins. Alright, so I'm gonna guess that this version is going to be a little bit similar to GunboundM, where you might still have to level up your tank and you get bonuses for skins. On top of that, back then, an avatar, you know, your character, you can have the headgear, the body armor, I know that it can carry a flag, and then pets and wings. Like, that's a lot of stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, they are probably gonna have those items at a level system as well. It's not just you buy it and that's all you get. I really hope that is the case. But even if it isn't the case, like, and you gotta level up, it just means you gotta spend more resources in the game to get them to where you want to max out, which then means it's not going to be fun for free-to-play players. Unlike GunboundM, again, I always say this, GunboundM is more of a pay-to-play rather than a pay-to-win. And if this is what I am guessing as a business standpoint, like, why wouldn't they? This is gonna be a very microtransaction heavy. Now, there's a photo here. Alright, look, if you look at a game here, right, at the very top, you see 3 currencies. What I've noticed, or what I know, is that mobile games with more currency means it is more predatory. Right? Obviously, you get your real money currency, and then you get your gold coin currency, which is the currency you can get for free in game. Which, to be honest, you can't really do much with it. And then obviously you trade your gems, which is ideally your cash, right? Like your real money transaction stuff. And then you gotta buy like gears, or you might have to buy crystals, and then you gotta buy platinum, then you gotta buy metal. Yeah, like the whole fucking list goes on. Like if you guys don't know, I think Diablo Immortal has like 8 or 9 different currencies, which, like, if you guys live under a rock, I mean, that game is so predatory, and it's not even that bad because I played even worse. Tower Fantasy, like, it's got 14 different currencies, I think. And I think same with like the new Pokemon stuff. Like, games nowadays, you know, I can see what Softnyx is trying to do. They're just trying to make money, which is why I'm a little concerned about this Gunbound T thing, because instead of revamping or upgrading the GunboundM platform, they're basically flat out just making a brand new one. I can see why, which is they can make more money that way, and it's much harder to work with like an older game that's designed maybe, you know, using a different engine, and you know, with what is available today and now and all that stuff, it might just be easier with graphics. And, you know, like, every year the phones just keep getting better and better, so they can keep pushing the boundaries to the game to be more like PC gaming. And I wouldn't doubt that this game will be available in cross platforms, like, you know, Steam, PC, and mobile. What I am, again, really concerned about is the microtransaction. It's gonna scare off a lot of players. Now, I was really wanting to know if this game is going to be like the actual old classic, which is you get an angle number, an arrow, and then a power bar, right? You don't get that line you see now. So what I think of GunboundM is more like Angry Birds, or yeah, it's more like Angry Birds. You actually get to see the line projection, so that it's a lot easier for you to kind of shoot. Now, in the old Gunbound Classic, it's more like Worms, which I'm dating myself even further back. You get this little small arrow, and then a power meter. I mean, I don't know how the guys played it back then, but oh my god, it's very hard. There's a lot of math out. I know that there is a math calculation to it. I'm just not patient enough to actually sit down and give a shit. So that's what I think. I don't know if it's gonna follow the classic, but the last image that they portray gives me a slight hope that it is still a little bit like GunboundM. But again, I think if you guys see here, this guy looks like a boomer, and if this is the new boomer, damn, I would play GunboundM for sure, because that is more nostalgic than this crap. Like, it does look better in terms of graphics, don't get me wrong. Like, you can see way more shit, way more little details. from the avatar and then the tank itself, but they don't look anything like the old classic stuff. It looks like a brand new game. It looks like a brand new version of Gunbound, like a Gunbound 2 or something like that. So maybe that's what the T stands for too. I don't know. So this is the last image that they have released. Now I see polka dotted lines, so I'm going to guess it's gonna be kind of similar to GunboundM. I really do hope so. If it's not, I mean, it's more nostalgic to the classic, but they're kind of confusing me as to what they're doing, because if they are going for the classic look, I mean, yes, you can buy skins to make it more appealing, but in the pre-launch advertisement, they should really go for the nostalgic look, meaning, you know, like what it actually looks like. So I would be more comfortable of this game, not thinking that this is just a brand new game with brand new tanks, but with basically the same function with just completely different skin. That's weird to me. But then again, I'm not saying no to this game. Don't worry, guys. I always keep my mind open to things. I'm just a little confused because I think in the description they say something like, you know, like a lot of game modes and all that shit. And what I think is GunboundM does lack a lot of game modes. In the previous, you know, classic Gunbound, you know, you can play only a Duca. Like, you can join the game and everyone has to play a Duca, because they can't do that in GunboundM. Mainly because the tanks itself have a leveling system. That means everyone either has to have it, or some people who don't have it can't play it, which is kind of like WTF. Whereas in this game, I'm going to assume the tank stays the same. What levels up or separates you from other player will be your avatar. Now, if they are going to continue the classic, they might have two game mode, which is the ladder mode, which everyone would want to be on the top of the ladder. Avatars will be counted in terms of the stats. For the free-to-play players, maybe, and I don't know why they would do this if they are going for the predatorial concept, which is making a game mode that is that does not include any of the avatar stats. It's just purely bots, it's pure skills, it is pure strategic. I don't know if they're gonna include that in, because then it really defeats the purpose of just buying extra shit, right? Because at the end of the day, whether or not you look like a badass boomer or a regular boomer, it should not separate you. Sure, you might feel better about yourself, but you can still win. So I don't know. Will they let the planktons eat the whale? I don't think they will. So they might not include that game mode in, but they might include, because all tanks are equal, or everyone has equal footing to the tanks, they might have, like, you know, Bigfoot only, Boomer only, you know, a Duca only, whatever it is. I don't know. So that's where I can see, you know, that this version of Gunbound is going to excel, because I know in GunboundM everyone does somewhat complain eventually that we don't have enough game mode. Sure, we have duel, we have pro battle, we have score, we have raw survival, but all these, you know, are based on what, you know, what arsenal of tanks you have, and you know, and avatars and all that. I like this game mainly because, yes, you can spend money in it, get what you like, but at the same time, you also don't have to, right? You can grind, wait a few months, and you can get your S tank. Sure, it doesn't look as good as the Dragon, but you can still get it for free without literally grinding 23 hours a day, where the whale would just be clicking a swipe of a button. So that's where this game, kind of closes the gap between the pay to play and pay to win. But again, this version lacks a lot of things. I keep asking, why can we not have World Survival Mode with friends? I mean, it would be a great mode to have. It would create a lot of good content. Or even the dual mode, right? There are so many modes, and I'm projecting and I'm speculating here is they don't want to reformat this game to build in new features, because they'll probably take just as much work as making a brand new game, which is what they're doing. And plus, with what they are doing, they are going to attract new whales, new players, and what that means is just more money. This game has been out for about 6 years, right? Let me see, how many seasons has this been? 66 seasons, so it's about 5 years. 5 years and six months, right? So almost 6 years. And the lifespan of games, they don't go more than 10. So this game has already reached its midpoint, it's very mature, meaning that when you do get new players, chances of them spending a lot or spending money to support the developers, support the maintainers, and support the game and the company is not that likely anymore. I mean, there will still be people, but when you make a brand new game, trust me, the surge of income that you get for the first 24 months, you can't, it's not even comparable. So in a business perspective, I can see where they're going, and why they are doing what they're doing. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to, the customers, which is us who's playing it. Is it a game that you're going to want to make the jump from GBM to GBT? That is a question that I can't answer right now. For me, at the very least, I'll have to see what it looks like and how it plays when it comes out. But I'm actually very happy with GunboundM because I actually like the style of it. The art of the avatars and all that stuff. But I still remember my first account with Gunbound Classic. I had the devil hair, I had the devil wing. I didn't get the gold armor because it was fucking expensive. But I mean, my avatar looked cool as fuck. I don't remember what stats the devil hair and the devil wing offered, but I just think that, I play this game for aesthetics, to be honest. Which is why I don't often play, other avatars that may be better, but they just look like trash. I don't necessarily use them, just for that reason. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about and see, if you guys see what I see, or basically, if you guys are concerned about this new Gunbound T, again, I guess give me 2. But yeah, I'll leave it as that. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm always open-minded for new stuff. So I am very open-minded. I can't wait for this stuff. I'm going to put, if I was a betting man, which I am, and I'm usually never wrong, that it's going to cost a fuck ton of investment or dual wielding visas to really get everything that you want, especially since they are going to buff nerf things throughout the span of the game, which then means certain items may be very popular, and then you gotta go and swipe for it. So it's going to affect the free players quite a bit on this, what I can kind of predict. But if they have the mode where avatar stats don't count, then it might actually be a little bit more fun. But we'll have to see. And yeah, that's basically it. I just really wanted a conversation about GunboundM and also GunboundT. So if you guys enjoy the video or kind of have comments and thoughts about it, please leave it in the comment box, and then I'll talk to you about it. I may disagree. Chances are I will disagree on some things. I don't know. It's just me. But at least, we can kind of prep each other so that, as a Gunbound fan, I know what to expect. And last but not least, before I go, chances are I'm going to keep playing GunboundM, but for content purposes, I might, just play GunboundT and try my best not to spend anything. It's gonna be very enticing for me to do so, because Sil is such a cunt sometimes. But yeah, I'll see how far I can go without spending any coins on this game, and see if it is or see if it matches up to GunboundM, because at the end of the day, free-to-play players can still win in GunboundM. And if I'm not mistaken, they are looking for whales in this game, and if that is the case, free-to-play players will have no chance of winning. But that is it for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Toodaloo!